Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Back Nine coverage presented by OTB of the Myrtle Beach Open 2020, presented by Grip Equipment and driven by Innova. This, again, I'm Nathan Queen.
I'm Trevor Harbolt.
Yeah,
man.
Here with Trevor Harbolt. Got to see a pretty good front nine.
Yeah, it was fun, dude. We had a spit out for an ace. We had some good putts. I've had a fun time watching these guys throw around Splinter City, man. This course is really fun. I'll come back to play this place.
Yeah, great course for how new it is. The fairways are very manicured, and you don't have too much that shouldn't be there when you're in the fairway. Even though it's only a week old, you see Gregg Barsby showing that off, getting 6 down through 9.
Yeah, and I think 2 to 3 down. I mean, I know that doesn't seem good in your mind when you're playing, but it's not a bad score getting through that first 9.
Yeah, you can still get your birdies on the back 9. Hole 10, 408 feet. Another tough par 3. A little easier than the last. If you watched the front 9, you saw hole 9 was the hardest hole on the course. So keeping that trend, we go into hole 10. Also a difficult hole. You're going to see fairway drivers to distance drivers for most people on this hole. You got a headwind the most of the time, and a gap that's about 120 feet away from you. Once you get through that gap, you have a better chance.
I really, really like this hole. You got to shape your disc kind of fast to get it to flip up through the gap. And Gregg kind of gets it a little to the right over there. Flipped over some on him, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like he stayed in bounds. He stayed off of the sidewalk, trying to throw to get his par. And this is another grip lock. That's a flippy disc. He was looking to hyzer flip that, and he's just let go of it late.
He burned it over a little bit. He'll have a relatively easy upshot for a par, though. If you get past the first gap and you push up in there, it's a pretty routine par.
Yeah,
that's hard to get.
Yeah, once you get here and you feel this headwind, it makes that gap so much smaller because you've got and Philo getting it turned over as well.
What a flare!
Wow.
Yeah, a chance at birdie, which again, there's not many chances for birdie.
That low
ceiling.
Yeah, with the headwind there, that low ceiling, it makes that gap a lot smaller once you get here because it's easy to get the nose up and lift up just like that. But if you're MJ, you just go right on through it.
And it looks like you have a putt.
And yeah, he should be in circle 2 right there, probably 45 or 50 feet.
Yeah, and from here, again, if you get past that first gap, you got a relatively routine upshot. 15-footer for a par there.
Straight for so long, and then landed.
Not sure what they're having a good time. That's what they look like they're doing.
Oh yeah.
We are playing frisbee golf.
Yeah, Gregg able to pitch up for his par as well. This is one you want to get at least as close as you see Philo here. You want to get a chance to get the birdie.
Oh yeah, nice stick there. That's a stroke on the field, I feel, if you get this hole.
It's a stroke on a lot of the field, and if you do it like that, it just feels great. That's such a good putt there. Not much wobble out of the hand, and it just hits dead center right side.
52 competitors, 6 birdies on this hole. It's a great birdie to get. Nice save there by Uli.
So kind of what you're going to see here, just some tap-in pars and maybe a birdie on the card, and we got a great one out of Philo there. Moving on to hole 11, 543 feet. It's one of the easier par 4s. You usually have a tailwind coming off of the road and the intersection that's behind you here. So you can play aggressive with a cut roller, or you can just throw a backhand that's going to end up about right here somewhere. These roads you see are not out of bounds until you get to the parking lot on the right side. And then a cool little setup here with the tree that's fallen over. They've propped it up to make a little more of a gate to get into the green.
I really like this hole, but it did play as the easiest hole because it is a relatively easy par 4. You get down the tunnel anyway, going to have a routine upshot pretty much. I do like the shape of the hole, and Philo absolutely laces it right where you want to be to have, I'd say, 140-foot upshot or so.
Right. Yeah, 140 feet or so from there. It makes it fairly simple as long as you get off of the tee.
Yeah, I flipped mine over completely not where I wanted, and I still had a fairly easy upshot. This is looking good
Standing
as well.
up, got past that tree.
Oh, through that little gap, over the
Flares
island.
off of the road, and he may have gotten up there for a long putt.
Right.
And I think he made it a bit further than Philo. He may be inside of 100 there.
This is another good one here. As long as you make it through the first gap here, you're going to be golden.
Yeah, and he's over there on the left side where I don't think there's any trees to the green, so he's just got 100 feet wide open.
I think the more you push left, the easier the hole gets after the initial gap. But flipping up something isn't too terrible. The only thing is you'll have some trees to contend with over here, but it's not too rough.
MJ with a little step out. Got too much on it, but catches a tree, and he's circle's edge or so right there.
It's like he's right in between that post and that tree. Might be tough.
Philo going with a bit of an Annie approach here, trying to get around that built-up green.
He just didn't get over on the disc. He'll have a putt, but he just didn't get over on it to park it like he wanted to.
Yeah,
whoa, and that was a quick shot.
Coming in hot. Ulibarri with his wide open shot didn't have to think about it at all and just pitched up there.
Right, Barsby is a long look for the eagle. On a raised basket. Oh,
and he hits the top. If it was raised just a bit
just
more.
a little bit more. That was a great run. I'd love to see an eagle on that hole.
And just a bit right side. Good putt. Could have stuck. Not quite this time, though.
And this is a hole you just want to get the birdie on.
Oh, no. Philo also having a bit of putting struggles on the green. That's not really what you see on this hole. You know, you kind of expect at least three.
Yeah.
At least 3 birdies.
We're going to have 2 birdies and 2 missed putts for birdies. They're a little longer. Didn't come out of the hand right. They'll hopefully just get it together on the next one and recover themselves, because the next hole is a birdieable hole.
Yeah, this next hole is probably, it might be my favorite par 3 on the course in hole 12.
It's a pretty sweet little hole.
Yeah.
And it's not even little. It's 390.
390 feet, just a straight tunnel. Fairway driver, if you've got it. You've got OB behind the basket, so you can't push too long, or else you'll be coming back for a par putt. But if you can just stand up a fairway driver, you can get a little bit of right turn or left turn in it, and then just have it flatten back out, slide up to the basket. A forehand or a lefty backhand, there is a small gap once you get about 280 feet off the tee. If you turn left, there's a small gap to the left where you could fade back.
One big mistake you can make is by pushing a little too far. About 25 feet behind the basket is an OB road.
And Gregg's turned his over. That'll be circle 2, maybe circle 2's edge. Really, he's pretty far out there.
Yeah, once you get through the first initial gap, you'll have a longer putt at the hole. Let's see what Uli's got here. He looks like he gets it in the sky a little.
I think this is an undertaker. Gets it a bit too high, and he catches a little leaves, and
exactly where I ended up.
yeah, stables out on him a bit too much.
And that's what happened on this hole. I think there was like a tail to crosswind on this hole, and was pushing stuff a little left, keeping it up in the air some.
Philo keeping it flat here. That's a great move out of him. This needs to slow down, though, and he does push it too long.
Unfortunate skip there, because that looked absolutely piped.
Yeah, he was real focused on hitting the line there and just got a bit too fast. He will still have a look for his par, though, from about 25.
Oh, that came out really odd out of MJ's hand. Maybe too much hyzer on it.
Typically, MJ's bread and butter shot there, just straight, and came out a bit too early.
And, of course, he throws it right up to the basket because that's what he does. Scramble master. Long look for two here from Gregg.
So Gregg, after the long eagle look hitting the top, now he's got a long birdie look.
Gives it a great run.
Oh, and misses just low. Great run from that far. It's crazy how consistently he hits metal with that hyzer, like that hyzer no
Sure.
down. He's got to get it so high in the air, but he's so consistent with it.
Like usually hit a little limb out of the hand there and might have kicked his disc a little more right. He's way further out than I thought. This is for par. Nice.
Yeah, good par putt there.
He liked to hit that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, let's see if Philo needs to save this par here as well after going long. And he gets it in there. It's not quite what he wanted, but they'll be able to move on, and the next hole is pretty birdieable.
Sure, we had 4 pars on this hole, right? Yeah,
4 pars.
4 pars. And I don't feel like 4 pars on this hole is a bad thing. It's kind of tough to get to the basket.
Right, here we are, hole 13, 318 feet.
A couple of different ways to go at this one. You got the lefty hyzer route. You got the righty hyzer route. Of course, I take the righty hyzer route.
Yeah,
it just skips. Right
most
to
of the
basket.
people that I played with actually went with the righty forehand route to the left side. I think those branches high on the right side are kind of keeping people from wanting to go right side.
I like to throw the low line skip, and it kind of saves yourself from being able to throw it so hard to go past the basket OB. And we'll see what right when you say it, Gregg pulls out the righty sidearm. Looking at the distances, just judging it the right way.
Yeah, there's kind of one tree to miss, and he just got inside of it there, and he's left it about 25 short.
And that's the other thing is, like, it seems like you get there and then you come up 20 feet short and you're like, oh, well, I thought I threw it 320 feet.
Yeah, so you'll disc up and throw the next disc and then get the flare and be 25, 30 long.
Yeah. And this is the shot that I like. I like this low line skip. He just got it a little too low and it flared over to the left. He'll have a putt for 2.
Yeah, if he could have straightened that just a little bit.
Definitely. Philo does the same kind of shot. He's going to get a nice skip. And to me, that's the safe route, is to get a low disc so you don't get it up high enough to hit the trees, and it skips right around the corner.
Yeah, low right side is more open than the left side.
And you have a righty backhand turnover route with a comet if you're MJ.
Oh, man. That's that one tree I was talking about that you needed to miss if you went left side, and he turns right into it.
I feel like 9 times out of 10, MJ is going to hit that line. And
Yeah,
that was
absolutely.
the one time that he didn't. That was another great upshot.
So Gregg here looks like he's 28. Trying to keep his hot round going, and he does.
Man, what a putt.
Hits it dead center for 8 down through 13.
He's killing it right now
Yeah, keeps the box.
for birdie. Nice stick by Ulibarri. Comes the birdie putt for Philo. Sticks
Yeah.
it in the chains.
There's a good putt out of Philo. Had a little struggle on 11, and then the one on 12 kind of snuck in there. That one he's got down solid.
Yeah, to get him back to where he wants to be
And
on the birdie train.
Yeah, MJ with the lone par on that hole. That's not one you want to par, but you can survive if you do. Hole 14, 416 feet. This does play as an island, I'll say green. It's really most of the fairway, but you do have to at least cross over this section of grass here to be able to move forward. If you don't make it or cross over this, then you re-tee, or you go up to the blue tee, the shorter tee, and throw as a drop zone shot. Once you land on here, the play to land is really land in that ditch right there if you can reach it.
This is actually one of my favorite holes on the course.
Yeah, it really makes you think, because if you go, well, I am left-handed, so I'm thinking about if I throw a distance driver, I can't throw flippy because it'll turn over too much, and I can't throw stable because it'll come back out.
Right.
And then, right behind this basket, you've got OB. So
yeah, Gregg leaves himself a little short, but that's the 3 play. I think if you hyzer if you throw a disc at the tree and flat, and it's a little stable, it'll fade right to the basket and give yourself a putt.
yeah, I think fairway driver off the tee here, if you have something 9 or 10 speed and you can throw it flat at that tree just like Yuli's doing.
Yeah, that looks good. Slow down.
He gets a weird skip out of that ditch there. Usually you'd see him stick, but he stays in bounds and will be inside the circle for a putt.
Yeah, I threw a crank on this one, but I didn't throw it as hard as I like to throw the crank, of course. But I threw it on hyzer, flipped up, and put it within 15. And I think that's the play. You throw at the tree, just let the disc do the work after that. Something you can trust.
Yeah, this looks great out of Philo, and he's just absolutely parked it. Making me wish I was right-handed for this hole.
You know, there's holes out there that we wish we were left-handed on. Cool to hear that. Another good pool.
Yeah, MJ knows it already. He's walking away. He's gonna go so he can just tap in his birdie too.
I mean, this right here would be a huge putt.
Yeah, Gregg's been all over it. He's been all over Myrtle from this distance. I'm just waiting for one of them to finally drop.
Oh my goodness! And again, his metal continues from deep. If only one could stick.
Just a bit right. Maybe a bit more height, and that would have faded back in time.
Oh, just a little high. I actually watched that putt as I was walking down 15's fairway there.
I think I might have as well, from somewhere.
And MJ, no time at all. He knows it's in.
Yeah, great birdie. Great drive from him.
For sure.
Showing you what you're supposed to do. Philo as well. Most likely a destroyer. Straight at the tree.
Beautiful. Beautiful birdies by Philo and MJ there. Uli, just the wind looked like it picked his disc up, and Barsby just all over the basket, just hasn't stayed in from deep yet.
Yeah. So right after I said I kind of wish I was right-handed on this hole, we move on to one where I am extremely happy that I'm left-handed here.
Yeah, I wish that I was left-handed on this hole.
So I get it right back. You see, we're following these 2 golden Mando signs there, so we've got to go in between those 2 trees to hit this straight gap, just push it straight and finish to the right. So like I said, lefty backhand, just push something out straight and let it finish. Righty backhand, pretty difficult. You're pretty much just throwing straight and trying to throw something that's not going to fade too much, so you have about a 40-footer.
Right. I think the hyzer flip for the backhander is the play. You throw it as hard as you can on hyzer and then watch a flippy disc flip up and flip over. If you don't get it the speed up enough, it will fade out and go OB to the left, which is the one mistake you can really make.
So hopefully MJ will show us this righty backhand, that hyzer flip, stand up, and catches a late leaf. But that's the best. Besides those late branches, that's really the best.
And from there, I feel like it's a layup. You don't even go for that with the mound.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to hit and roll away on this green. It's elevated slightly and sloped all around it. It's not flat up top. Gregg's showing you the power forehand here.
Tasty shot.
And that takes so much power on a forehand to be able to get up there. He's at the bottom of that mound there, and he only has about 20 feet left.
Gregg has one of the sneakiest distance sidearms in my mind.
Uli has got this super flippy.
Love this play. It came out a little quicker than he wanted, but that was a solid play to get through the gap, through the Mando.
Yeah, that's a tight gap to lay a roller down in. You don't have any room on the left really to swing it out.
I'd like to know what he threw there. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I can't remember. I've seen him throw it multiple times recently, but I can't remember what disc it is. It was somebody else's. I've heard the story about it and everything. I just can't remember what it is.
Right. What a run by MJ, trying to stall float his banker in there for the 2 from deep. This is huge. Let's hit this. Let's go.
Floats it just a little bit, catches high right side. So Gregg, after some long bids, gets himself a little closer here.
Just needed a little more height. The putt that he has, he needed to get it up just a little bit more with the nose down.
Yeah, sometimes when you've been so far out for so long, when you get closer, it just it gets in your head a little bit because you've been hitting metal so much. You feel like you may not be putting well, even though it's been from 90 feet for the last 3 holes. So unfortunate to see there after a great drive. But pars is kind of what you typically would see on this hole. It's pretty tough.
I think this is a really good par. I think if you get the birdie, you're excited. And you get the par, you're like, okay, most people are going to get the par.
And here we are, hole 16, 480 feet. Pretty open. You have this first tree on the right once you cross the road that kind of keeps you from being able to really flex or throw just a straight hyzer if you've got the power. But it's really a big power hole. If you've got enough power, you can smash one out there, get to circle 2 or circle 1, and try to make your putt.
Yeah, tough par 3. I think there's going to be more pars than birdies or bogeys on this hole. I think it's a relatively simple par 3, but you can get the deuce on this if you have a cannon of your arm. So I think all these guys can actually could get this hole.
Yeah, I think everybody's got a chance to get it. It's just one of those ones where you throw your drive and then, maybe you have a chance, maybe you don't.
Right.
Just kind of get your par here.
And I think that's what you're going to see more of is a late flip over.
MJ taking a book out of James Conrad and going with a big, long run up, and he gets a good smash on that. He's probably 40, 45 feet right there.
Gregg unleashes.
Oh,
and it flipped over a little.
Yeah, he does catch that early tree I was talking about just across the road that keeps you from really being able to throw any line that you want to. But still, he got past that tree, so he's out in the open, and there's not much trouble there.
Probably that stable nuke that...
and this looks like a great shot out of Ulibarri here. Gets full flex on it.
He's going to have a putt for 2 there.
Yeah, he's got to be. I think he's inside the circle there.
Past the basket.
Yeah, he's thrown long, right around circle's edge. And Gregg here, like you see, he kind of messed his drive up, but he's still pretty open. He could really give this a bid if he wants to. He's got a long, accurate throw.
It's a great up shot. I'm sure he'll be able to save his 3. And again, like you're saying, you just throw it out there. If you get next to the basket, you have a putt. If you don't, you have a routine up shot just to get your 3 and get on.
Oh, and MJ leaving it just a bit low. He wants to get that one, but still a good bid. And Paul, after going long...
Let's go. Good
Yeah, that one feels good for him. He's been seems like he's been struggling. He's still 5 down.
Yeah. It's that kind of, it's the kind of course. Splinter City's like that. If you get off the fairway, you're going to take a lot of pars. If you're throwing them right down the fairway, you're going to get some birdies. So he can treat you differently than some other courses here. Par putt there from Philo. He was thinking about that one. But
you can see he knows he hit right side there. He's shaking his head. Still a good putt, though. Gregg concentrating a little extra after the missed birdie putt on the last hole, making sure he gets that par putt in there.
Sure, he's got a great round. He doesn't want to mess it up just by a little shot like that.
Yeah, so right after you play this wide open hole, we move you into this shortest. It's one of the shorter holes on the course, but it's a pretty tough gap to hit, especially after throwing that wide open hole. Right. 258 feet. You usually have a left to right wind, I believe. So once you do hit the gap with a righty backhand, you have to make sure you throw something stable enough to fade where that wind won't push it into the woods on the right.
And if you're like me and you get fortunate enough to hit a tree and go 20 feet and park it, then you'll feel good.
Yeah, that always works too.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's two gaps here, but really you want to go right here where Uli has thrown it. And, oh man, he flashes some chains there, just a bit more right, and we could have seen some more chain hits. Philo with that DX rock that he's been throwing also hits the gap, slides on up there.
Ooh, almost another one.
Almost two metal hits in a row there. That one may have caught the bottom of the basket with the bounce.
See what MJ's got here. Looks like he's throwing a banger. Crystal banger at that.
Just a little bit more stable than that purple banger that he's got. Puts it right on up there, all inside the circle, kind of what you want to see on this hole. Oh, and Gregg's pulled it off to the right a bit. And it looks pretty thick over there. He's looking up high. That's never usually a good sign. But he does get up there on the green. He's probably 20, 25 feet or so.
Bang, nice birdie putt by Uli. Bringing it together at the end of the round, that's what you want to do. When you're having troubles in the beginning, if you can get all of it at the end of the round, you go into the next round feeling confident.
Gregg pulls his par putt off to the right. This is not one of the holes you really want to bogey.
That's the second time MJ has had his nose down and hit the front of the cage on a 20-footer. I'm sure he's going to want them back.
Yeah, that's not something you really see. But a couple guys struggling on the green.
Yeah.
Throughout the round, back and forth.
We all just came from USDGC, the Disc Golf Pro Tour finale. Now we're here, and it's still in your mind of how you played the last couple weekends or whatever. And this first round comes in, you're like, there's the beach, there's so much to do.
Can make it a bit harder to focus with the end of the season really being here already.
Yeah, right. And hole 18 here is probably the tightest, longest hole we've got out here as far as par fours. Not even the longest. I can't say that hole 5 is longer, but this hole has just got so many trees in the way.
Land right here.
Land right there, and then you have yourself an upshot with a sidearm or a backhand turnover. Whatever you do, you just want to get down the fairway clean, get your second upshot as clean as you can through all these trees, and then hopefully you have yourself a birdie putt.
Yeah, the further you can get down the fairway here, the easier your second shot is going to be. And again, Paul's kind of pulling this off to the right.
It snuck through.
He snuck on through, and he's going to be in a really great position now, actually.
Right. Great real estate there to sit in for the shot.
And I should say, so after you play all the other holes, you get to this one, and it's just looks super aggressive to you because the rest of them haven't quite looked this tight. Plus 3-card backup.
Right.
So you sit there for 25 minutes or so. Philo doesn't care about any of that. Absolutely smashes his drive down through the woods and lands in the middle. Should have a pretty good look.
Yeah, I think if you are pushing to the left, like if you're fading right now, like MJ did through this, you're going to have a beautiful upshot to the basket.
We've got 3 great drives so far. And this is, I'm glad we're seeing all these drives in the fairway because it'll show you what this hole brings as far as the second shot, even though it's a bit shorter. So these guys are all landing in the fairway, but they aren't necessarily going to have an easy shot towards the basket. There's still something that they're going to have to manufacture to get up and get inside the circle for their second shot.
You're going to have to definitely manufacture some angles to get through the trees up in that area. Gregg's a little pinched off here in the rough. That's going to be...
Yeah, that's a good play for him to be able to get that much distance on it from out of the woods. Even though he's over on the right side, there are some angles you see. He's got that forehand through there. I landed over on this right side some, so it's not too bad as long as you stay in the cut part.
Oh, and he laces it. That's going to skip up and probably give himself a nice little par putt.
What a par save.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a par save already. He's parked it. Yeah. That's a fantastic play from Gregg to get his par.
Recovery shot.
Purple banger.
Right down the center. And that's pretty routine birdie putt.
Yeah, he'll be... MJ's one of the few that even though he just missed a 20-footer, he is extremely happy he has another 20-footer so that he can make it and finish his round on a good note.
And this is a great drive where Philo went. I mean, it still looks sketchy because of the trees, but he is so close, much closer to the basket.
Look at this little touch forehand here.
Beautiful shot by
Looks
Philo.
like it was that DX rock, just flick of the wrist.
And I'm going to be honest with you. They made this hole look really, really simple.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, all three of those guys. I mean, even Barsby in trouble still made the hole look pretty simple for being in trouble.
And there you go, MJ. Still taking no time, tapping it in,
the big
waving
smile.
to the crowd. Big smile on his face. MJ 5 down.
What a great 4 save.
Gregg Barsby tapping in his par to finish at 7 under.
Yeah, what a great round. I mean, we're gonna have 3 7-unders and a 5-under, and I think if you're in that range, you're still in good position going into round 2.
Yeah. The field ended up super tight through the first round. On this card, we've got 3 7-unders with Gregg, Philo, and Uli all ending up tied. MJ just a bit behind, but moving on to Socastee Recreational Park for the next round, which I believe will be the moving round.
The locals call it Sock-a-tree.
We'll see you guys out there.